What's good, everyone? Welcome to another Livewire Sports Entertainment Tuesday edition of Canes on the Daily with myself and my co-host behind the scene, Donnie. Before we get started, you know how we do all the time. We kick off that intro for y'all.
Let's give it up to the youth. Loyal to the squad if we win or we lose. It is in our veins that orange and the green running through and through. Cause you know we want it. Your squad versus ours, now they don't really want it. Authentic bitch deep with throws in abundance. Get ready for the storm cause the hurricane's coming. Let's give it up to the youth. Loyal to the squad if we win or we lose. It is in our veins that orange and the green running through and through. Cause you know we want it. Your squad versus ours, now they don't really want it. Authentic bitch deep with throws in abundance. Get ready for the storm cause the hurricane's coming.
All right, what's good, everyone? Now we got a couple of things we're gonna have to go over tonight. First, the first half we're gonna talk about the NC State and the Miami game, which I don't even know. I don't have no words for what we about to talk about in this game. Then we'll go into the later half of the show talking about the preview of the FSU and the Miami game. So, bro, tell me, give me your thoughts of the games Saturday.
Kudos to the defense. Those young men played their hearts out. I cannot point any finger at the defense. Offense was a little stagnant. Saw some things on the offense I didn't really appreciate. And it starts at the top, with the coaching, from the head coach to the coordinator, and to some of the players, not all of the players on offense, but there were some of the players on offense that I feel like they just kind of basically they tuned out. But overall, I was thoroughly impressed with the defense, the energy, and what we brought to this game, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean the defense pretty much kept us in the game. They did everything they can to keep us in the game, gave us opportunities to win the game, but for some reason the offense goes stagnant. I mean, when you have a good running game to get you chunk yardage, why in the world are you going to not be able to execute? I mean, and I'm about to go with this. And this is, I said this after the North Carolina game. We should have benched Tyler Van Dyke since then. He was hurt since that game. He was never right. He makes mental mistakes. He locks on one receiver. He doesn't scan the field. He doesn't survey the pocket. We could say it's play calling by Shannon Dawson, but how much is that? It's just not. It's poor execution with Tyler Van Dyke. I mean, we had all of us. I've been a big fan of Tyler Van Dyke since the first year when he was there with Rick Lashley, and I just think all of this stuff to me is starting to play out from over the offseason when there was rumors about him leaving. And Alabama was calling him. And I think he wanted to go. I think he wanted to go to SMU with Rick Lashley. I just don't think that there was room for him at that moment. So he kind of like came back. But Mario didn't welcome him back. I think Mario should have just moved on from him and pretty much got another veteran just to compete. And then just go with Emory Williams and Ja'Cory Brown. So I just feel at some point in time that Tyler Van Dyke has not gained the confidence that he desired to seek. I don't know if his admiration is to go into the NFL, but if that's the case, I just don't see it happening. I don't see him as a NFL quarterback. I mean, like I said, I had so much praise for him. Then I was listening to Zoe's show, after the game, because I was gonna do a play-by-play with it, and I was in the mood, and I just wanted to watch the game, and then and not just only Taliban. We got to hold Mario Cristobal, responsible too, because the fact of the matter is that this guy is not well. He's not good. He can't be just the answer for us, because you go back. What if we let him? What if he played against Clemson? We wouldn't have won that game. There's no way we would have won that game with Tyler Van Dyke. Me and you talked about this, and I said if Emory Williams gets a chance to play from Clemson all the way down until we get to Florida State, I think he'll be well and ready to take on Florida State. I just don't figure Florida State just to be, gonna run all over us. I just don't see it happening. But if you put Tyler Van Dyke out there, yeah, we're gonna get beat down. So I don't know, man. I really don't have an answer why Tyler's playing as bad as he is. I think he wants out. And I think he think that this year was going to be different. I think he was going, we see him on the sideline, not really engaged with everybody. He just seems, I don't know, man. He just seems out of it. But I want to ask you a quick question. Do you think Shannon Dawson's play calling or his offensive schemes is the problem also? And if so, give me some detail on that a little bit.
I really don't think it's the play calling and the schemes. I think it's just that Tyler is disengaged and he's basically clocked out. Not here to bash the young man, but I don't know what his personal life is and what he's going through, but it seems like he's checked out, and there is no rapport between him and the other receivers other than Restrepo.
Mm-hmm.
There is no continuity. There's no camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as like he's showing up to a job that he's about to quit.
Mm-hmm.
But he just hadn't told everybody that he's quit. And that's my honest take on it. And I also noticed that for the longest, our biggest knock was our offensive line. We couldn't offer the protection, but even when he had a clean pocket,
mm-hmm.
there were throws that he could have forced. And instead of forcing those throws when he had the one-on-one coverage,
yeah,
he decided to check down. And then when they gave him the opportunity to check down, that's when he forced the throws.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost like in my honest opinion, there was just a serious disconnect between him and the rest of the team. Instead of having 11 men on offense, 11 players on offense, it was like we only had 10. And you could see the disconnect from the running backs. And I really just don't think to the receivers, I don't think the play calling had a lot to do with it. There were some suspect plays, but any play can go any way as long as you execute. If you don't execute, it goes bad.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is like execution starts at the top. And I didn't see a lot of the young man holding people or himself accountable for mistakes that were made, because you guys have practiced this play. You guys, it's not like you guys have only been together a couple of weeks and this is a new system.
Mm-hmm.
You know the system, you know the check downs, you know everything, or you should know everything. But it just felt like as that game wore on, it was basically like I saw a lot of skill position players basically checking out too. And to use that analogy, they quit before they said they quit, and basically turned in their 2-week notice. I wish that there was something that I could say that would fix this, and I can't, unfortunately. But just based on the product that we put on the field, the nation saw it, we saw it, and you can't hide the obvious, which was in plain sight, that I think that offense just really gave up because the leader was not leading the team.
Yeah. And that's crazy because like I literally watched him the one pass he threw towards the end zone towards Jacoby George was that if he had, as soon as he cut, all he had to do throw the pass, because once he cut, throw the pass. But he waited, and then he threw it, and the defender was right there. And I'm like, why are you throwing that pass so late? You're not throwing them in a timely manner where they open. Like last year, he would have had a Will Mallory and Xavier to lean on. Now it's like you got to trust the others. You trusted Kobe Young last year. Now you ain't trusting him this year. You trust George last year. You're not trusting him this year. You know what? I mean, what's going on? You know, and we can't. Yeah, we can run the ball fairly well, but you can't rely on that, especially if you're playing a team like FSU that's going to stack the box and not rely to run, because they're not great. You know, they like 57th in the nation in run defense, but they gonna make you especially if they know if Tyler's starting, they're gonna force Dillon to throw the ball because they don't feel like he could get the ball down the field, and that's where you're gonna have to find something else. NC State defense played well enough, but there was opportunity for Miami to take advantage of. Our defense played a heck of a game Saturday, and it should have been where they needed to be, and it walked away with a win. And I fought Mario for this because he should have pulled Tyler Van Dyke in that game. I would have set him down at halftime, especially knowing that this game was still in reach. I would have came out, set him down. Whether he got mad or not, I really don't care, because you're going to have to sentence. You write about somebody's confidence level, but his confidence ain't there anymore. And everybody that's Miami Hurricane fans, you know, watching this game, looking at this guy being a shell of himself. I mean, like you said, he's mentally checked out. Don't know if something's going on with him mentally, physically, or anything that's going on with him at home personally. But he gonna have to figure it out. He can't just sit there, and he just can't sit there and put this guy in a game and we losing games for no reason. You know, the Georgia Tech game was a blunder. That's on the coaching staff. NC State game, North Carolina game, we could have probably won if we had another quarterback in the game. Then you get there, you struggle against Georgia and Virginia, overtime in both games. You know, I understand the Clemson game because you had another quarterback. But if you had let Emory Williams started that Virginia game, we could have probably won that game decisively. Then we were playing NC State that really don't have anything there. You know what I'm saying? They got a decent, you know, they run a lot of gadgets and do all that stuff. But we held them. And then next thing you know, guess what happens? We lose the game on turnovers. Then how can you sack yourself? How in the world can you sack yourself? And I'm just sitting here watching it. And I was like, this dude really don't want to play. You see when he fell down, the first thing he did act like he was hurt. He act like he was hurt. I was like, no. I said, I cannot be watching this right now. This dude literally tripped himself, fell down, then act like he was hurt. I like, man. I said, Mario don't bench this guy. And then I kept saying to myself, I said, you might as well let him play against Florida State, get his head beat in. You know what I'm saying? I said, but then again, they ain't gonna do nothing but for us to give us another loss, whether we win it or not. But at the same time, I just think that Mario don't have, and I'm gonna put Shannon Dawson in this too. I think they'd have it help him because if they knew he was struggling the way he has been, they should have just go ahead and let the young man sit on the sideline, bench himself, and been over with. Because you wasn't doing him no favors by continuing to put him out there, and especially if he's hurt also. Let me see. We talked about the defense. I gave them an A, for that game, quarterback wise. And let me ask you this: say, for instance, that we did. What is your assessment of Emory Williams, especially after the first game? I think there's more they could do with him, in that offense. But what you think?
To be fair, I haven't seen enough of Emory Williams to give a fair assessment. I don't know if this is because you have different quarterbacks. You got quarterbacks that have a cannon for an arm, big strength in the arm, and then you have precision passers. But I have not seen enough of Emory to make a fair assessment.
Yeah.
Clemson game was just a small glimpse. But I will tell you this. Now, if we started a backup quarterback and we won, that is something that I would always keep in my back pocket to if things look like the wheels are about to fall off. I'm putting my backup in. I'm like, you don't have to win the game. Manage the game and just don't lose the game. And that's my favorite system.
All right. So we're probably gonna get into a real tough conversation right here. Mario. I think we talked about this after the North Carolina game. I know they can't fire Mario. And there are some good things that Mario has done. And there are also some bad things that Mario has done also. I do see that he is getting guys in. But to say the least, playing like this the last stretch of the game, the last stretch of the season, I think that what's going to happen is that if he doesn't do something for these last 3 games of the season, he's going to end up losing recruits. That's going to set this program a little bit further back to get to where they're at, especially recruiting so well this season and bringing the guys that's in. You don't want to go in a situation where you start losing recruits and then you can't get past a certain number of wins next year, and then everything is going to be questioned because guess what? Then they're going to start talking about you being on a hot seat. In your third season, you can't get this point, especially when there's so much potential to further the program. Now, I did say the team could have been 9-3, which they shot themselves in the foot for that 9-3. Now they could finish 8-7. You got Florida State and Louisville. Boston College playing good. Pretty much every team in the SEC, I mean the ACC right now, could give you problems. Could give you problems. And if you ain't on your A game, it's going to cost you some games. And Mario don't need pressure in his second year. We gave you a pass the first year. You come out in the second year, everything looked promising. You scoring almost 30 points a game. But then you make a bad, you was off the bye week and you come back to play Georgia Tech and you made the most blundering coaching decisions of managing a game. So right now, at this point, what is your fair assessment of Mario right
now? Fair assessment. Basically, Mario has to do a better job of managing the clock. Basically, Mario has to have the coordinator, the offensive coordinator, Mr. Dawson, to make sure that the players have a sense of urgency, because even in the waning moments of the North Carolina State game, we were still looking around like, what's going on? What's the play? We really weren't concise on attacking. There were a lot of questions like, what's the play? What do we do next?
Yep.
The thing is like that showed a glaring weakness. And next week, that will get you absolutely destroyed.
Oh, yeah.
I will say this. Kudos to North Carolina State, not making any excuses. I know they were down several players, and they still performed well enough to win. Because if we're going to be fair about the assessment of Mario, we just got to be honest. You got out-coached.
Oh, yeah.
I will never trash Tyler Van Dyke, but Mario, grown man, I will say you are trash with clock management, game planning, and the list goes on and on. I will say that. Now, as far as the young man, Mr. Van Dyke, not going to trash him. Just going to say I was disappointed. But Mario, I hold you to a higher standard, and you failed miserably. So you get an F minus. As far as total preparedness, game planning, clock management, play calling, everything. It's like just looking at the second half with defense playing lights out, we're spending timeouts to call a play that results in negative yardage. No, sir. Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
I agree with you, bro. I mean, honestly, it just sickens that, like, I knew, like, me personally, I felt like we could have beat North Carolina. I think our first loss would have came against Florida State. That's why I looked at it. I just didn't see North Carolina was able to do anything. I mean, then they ended up losing, they lost back-to-back games? And then we went up there and couldn't even execute. We had a chance to kind of like win that game, but turnovers, Tyler Van Dyke's efficiency, Shannon Dawson getting us a penalty on the field. I mean, all of that stuff, man. All of that plays in it. If you're gonna coach at a high level, you cannot get out coached by guys that you're supposed to be superior to in. You know what I'm saying? Mario was way over there in Oregon. And I was telling somebody at work today, there's like, Tyler Van Dyke ain't the problem. Tyler Van Dyke ain't the problem. Tyler Van Dyke ain't the problem. Okay, he might not be 100% the problem. I said, but at the same time, Mario was coaching better when he was in Oregon and he was beating good teams. So what's the difference now? It shouldn't be no difference. Yeah, you got to come in there and clean up everything that Manny did and get guys in the game, get new guys here and there and all of that stuff. Yeah, I get it. But at the same time, you can't be stubborn either. You can't get in. You can't be stubborn and be all in your You can't be all in your team's way of success when you have every opportunity to really bring this team into elite, somewhat of elite level. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? And then you let Matt Brown beat your head in for 2 years straight. You know what I'm saying? 2 years straight, you let Matt Brown bust your head in. You should be able to figure out, say, okay, we need guys in this position. We need guys that just, yeah, granted, you shore up the defensive line and the offensive line. Okay, now it's time to get skilled players. It's time to get faster. Because therefore, if you get stout on the offensive line, you need guys on the outside fast. You got running backs. You need more talent. And it's not even so much that, because we do got guys that could really play on the outside. It just got to get the ball to him. And if you're not allowing your offensive coordinator to execute his playbook to the fullest, and you trying to micromanage everything, then it's not. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to end up losing your coordinator, and you're going to end up have to go back out and get another coordinator again. And then it's going to be hard, because then nobody's going to want to come and play for you, because you meddlesome, you micromanaging everything. So Mario, I mean, he got good intentions, but he needs to get out his own way, because what's going to happen, after a while, ESPN, Kurt Herbstreit, they're going to start hammering us again. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, I ain't want to sit there and hear Kurt Herbstreit talk trash about Mario. We heard that about Manny Diaz. We finally got Manny out here. But at the same time, where has we gone since then? That's a question. Yeah, we got good players. We done did certain things, but where has we gone? We took a bad step back last year, probably worse than the year before. We supposed to took a giant leap forward this year. We could have easily win 10 games this year. 10 games. I mean, we got the guys. Yeah, we might not have as much depth on defense, but guess what? Our defense is solid. You got to create a winning culture. You can't just create a culture that just you just to get by. And I'm gonna use this analogy. This guy that was on the Sports Junkies, I think on something 106.7 The Fan, I think, and they was talking about the Washington Commanders. So he literally saying that the Commanders right now, well, I'm gonna just use this. He said, literally, you got to start thinking winning now. You can't wait for yesterday. You can't wait for tomorrow. You got to start creating that winning formula now. Because if you don't create a winning formula now, then the thing about it is, it's going to cost you in the future. And all you're going to do, matter of fact, I'm wrong, because I was listening to, it was talking about Chicago Bulls podcast. That's what I was talking about. You got to create a winning formula now, because if you don't do that, guess what's going to happen? You're going to lose. You're going to lose out recruits. It's going to be hard to get people in the transfer portal, because people are going to start decommitting, going to other colleges, because we ain't winning. You're going to have to start. Marvin going to have to start winning 10 plus games a year. I ain't 9 games is less. Is probably the farthest I go. 7, 8 games a year, that's unacceptable. You're going to have to win over 9 games every year. You're going to have to be in a 10 plus range every year. That's the only way teams are going to be able to see you, the right, the nation going to see you in the right way. And if you don't do that, guess what's going to happen? We're going to end up be looking for another coach in the future sometime. So that's just my take on Mario Cristobal right now. I just think that he needs to get out his own way. He needs to allow his coaches to coach, because I hate to say it, we're gonna end up being in a situation like we was last year. And I think Shannon Dawson is a pretty good offensive coordinator. And maybe they just probably waiting for sit Tyler down, put Emery in, and everything like that. So we at the 30-minute mark right now, and we cover a whole lot for the North Carolina game. Is what it is. Like I said, North Carolina won the game. They deserved to win the game because they did everything they needed to do to win the game. Miami just continued to blow opportunities, mismanage games, and stuff like that. But now we're going to turn our attention to a much important game of the year, and it's rivalry week when it comes to Florida State and Miami, one of the biggest rivalries in college football, going back to way back when. Florida State has been phenomenal all year. They haven't really been tested like they need to be tested. The teams that played them look like Clemson had. I think Clemson had the best shot of beating them when they this year. And that's the only time I've seen Florida State really, really tested. So I feel like at the end of the day, what are the keys for Miami in this game?
As far as keeping it close, and I do not expect to win because, like I told you, at the beginning of the season, my prediction was 7-5. And to be realistic, I am seeing that I lied to you and the fans. This could go to be a 6-7 season. We have 6 wins already. We're bowl eligible.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, unless we put a better product on the field, there's no way we win enough games to basically even cover my 7-5 prediction, which I stuck to my guns to, and I will if I have to with that statement. So the thing is, with Florida State coming up, it's like they are a complete team. Mm-hmm. The keys to victory is Miami has to play absolutely flawless, no penalties. You gotta force turnovers. Our defense can do it, but now our defense has to score for us. And I don't think they're at that level to where they do it. Basically, I'm just hoping that they can keep it close. I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't see any way Miami can keep this close. 52-10 is my projection.
Oh, my goodness. Bro, golly. Oh, my God. He said 52-10. Oh, my God.
I'm just going to keep it real. I mean, what was the score last year? 45-3?
I had the unique take. I was listening on I was listening on 3. They gave their prediction of the game, and he broke down some stuff. He gave down some stuff. So, he said 38-24. Now, I don't see. The only way I see that score is Tyler Van Dyke plays.
Well, Tyler Van Dyke will definitely play, but let me just ask you this, and let's just be real about this for a second. If North Carolina State had a true starting quarterback and they weren't injured, and we gotta be real about this. They had injuries, so yes, they ran a lot of gadget plays, and I'm not mad at them because they did what it did. You know what they had to do to get the win. But Florida State is a machine. You think that we can actually get a turnover and go 3 and out and put our defense back out there against a Florida State team that can turn it out? It's no way possible. That's why I'm telling you, I'm projecting 52-10.
Yeah.
And I'm just keeping it real.
I don't see it either. My only logical thinking of this whole situation is My only logic thinking in this is that, and I listened to Alex Donald today. They was talking about this. The only way I see this, this is like really flourishing, is that Miami gonna have to use two quarterbacks. They're gonna have to keep. They're gonna have to keep. They're gonna have to keep Florida State off balance. They're gonna have to do things to really make sure that they are the rhythm. Like I said when we were talking about it earlier, I think Florida State is going to stack the box because they know Miami can run good. They can have a good running game. And also on top of that, I do believe that Florida State is going to try to make them. If Tyler Van Dyke plays, Florida State is definitely going to try to make him throw the ball downfield. But if we use Emory and Ja'Cory in the game, I do believe that we could keep them off balance. Now, I'm not saying we're going to win this game. Not at all. A 14.5-point favorite, I think we could find some way to cover the spread. Like I said, if Tyler Van Dyke plays, we getting blown out. I'm not even gonna do no. I'm not gonna even. I might do play-by-play to that game. I mean, I might do play-by-play to that game, just for share shits and giggles. But I do believe that my Florida State will win the game. By how much? Don't know. I know I do want to see Emory and Ja'Cory do get a play. I do want to see them play more. I do want to see them. I want to see them be able to, show something. I don't even know. I don't even trust Mario doing game management in this game at all, especially from Mario's side. If Shannon Dawson comes in there and say, "Hey, okay, this is what we're gonna do," then okay, boom, I'm with it. I'm with it all day. But at the same time, at the end of the day, our defense is going to keep it close in the first half, close to the first half. But the second half, Florida State does not allow people to score in the second half. So my thing is this here is that 52-10 is a real strong possibility. But man, I'm just telling you, I don't want Tyler to play. I want to see what we got with these guys here going forward. That's my main thing. Win, lose, or draw, I just want to see what these guys got. I want to see what they could bring to the table. I want to see what we could do going into next year. You know what I'm saying? Because I already know that we're not going to beat Florida State. I mean, if Miami had played really good football from beginning to now, I would say, yeah, we got a shot to beat them. If we had beat North Carolina, if we didn't struggle against Clemson or Virginia or NC State, I could be confident and say, you know what, hey, I think we could beat these boys. That's what I would say. But now, the way this thing looking, nah, bro, you got me on this one tonight, for real. You definitely got me on this one. I don't even have the defense for it. I don't even have the logic for it because it's going to be ugly. One guy at my job told me, he said, "We about to beat y'all bad." He said, and then it really ain't gonna matter if they other receivers play or not. It's not gonna really matter. Jordan Travis is just that good. He just that good, man.
And he's a Heisman candidate. And the thing is like a lot of people have been flying him under the radar But
Mm-hmm.
once you destroy your rival and you're still ranked in the top 5, you've already qualified for the ACC championship.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be, hey, you know what? Hey boys, put your tuxedos on. We're going to the dance tonight. And it's just gonna be, hey, Miami's gonna have to hang on for dear life.
Yeah.
And I'm a diehard Miami fan, but look, I know we're gonna get lumped up in this game. And the thing
Well,
is, like, it doesn't matter what we tried out there, because like you said it earlier, and I agree, our defense will keep us in it early. But again, our offense, once it goes stagnant, and it will, with the 3 and outs, and then we got
mm-hmm.
Dallas kicking 48 to. Okay, let me give him an average here. Florida State game, I will say he will probably kick 3 field goals with an average of 42 to 45 yards. And the thing is like, it'll be a struggle just for us to get in field goal range.
Mm-hmm.
We have nothing for them. Florida State, do you not think that Florida State has not watched the game film on us, and they know that with Mr. Van Dyke, that zone is gonna be his kryptonite, and they will basically have a game plan to where it be a zone blitz defense. So it's like, yes, we
Mm-hmm.
are in the zone. They could actually drop 8 and blitz 3 and still put pressure on him with the athletes they have.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
most definitely.
mean, really bring the heat.
Oh
And they
yeah.
won't do it. They won't do it like North Carolina State on 3rd down. They won't do it like Georgia Tech on 3rd down. They're gonna bring it every down. Zone, zone read, zone coverage. It's like, and blitzing out of the zone. So
Oh
even when we
yeah.
run the ball, they won't have to stack the box because of their athletes.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly because the fact of the matter is that um there's gonna be a lot of confusion. North Carolina is going to bring. I mean, not North Carolina, but Florida State is going to bring a lot of confusion. They're going to make sure that Miami is. It don't matter who the quarterback is. You know what I'm saying? Um, they they're just going to do things that is going to be very very hard, very very um detrimental for them. Mario gonna have to coach the best game. Now I give Mario credit because when he was at Oregon, he took an Oregon team the first game of the season, went into Ohio State into the horseshoe and and um and beat them. But this is not the same this is not the same Miami team as Oregon. They're not ready yet. And so the fact of the matter is that it's going to be whatever it is. It's going to be whatever it is. So,
Let me
but
just expound on that point, because you got to remember, Al Golden took Ja'Cory Harris and them up to the horseshoe, and we beat Ohio State in the horseshoe with him there. The thing is,
mm-hmm,
it's like, this Florida State team is out for blood. And the thing is like, they put it on us last year, and now they really got a point to prove, because now it's about style points. Now that the college football
mm-hmm.
rankings have came test, and Miami is the best way to pass the eye test, because like, now it's like you gotta crush your rival and it's over. And the
Mm-hmm.
thing is Miami has no answer. Look, I'm not completely downing Miami. I'm just giving a big up to Florida State because they have it now and we don't.
Oh yeah, yep. And just think, to be honest with you, um, just think, um, God, my train of thought about to leave me. Just think that what's the coach for Florida State right now? Oh shoot,
Mike Norvell.
Mike Norvell. They was talk about having his head.
Well, the thing is like it's funny
And
what a year can do.
yep, and all of a sudden he turned it down. He turned it around quickly. Turn it around just like that quickly.
Well, the thing is like man for man, we're outmatched. The keys to this game is, in my honest opinion, the key to this game will be Miami has to play flawless just to keep it close. But I don't see it being close other than the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sticking to my 52-10, and I'm sticking to my projection that Miami is basically going to go into a tailspin because we cannot recover from losses. And what I mean by that is all Miami fans know I'm not stating opinions, I'm stating facts. For the last 20 years, if we lose a game, there's usually another game that we lose and another game, and then we bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
But we usually have to go in a downward spiral to bounce back. And now my 7-5 is looking like almost like someone saying 11-1.
Yeah. I At the end of the day, I just feel like now Miami is Miami has a lot of I think they still had a lot of problems there. There's a lot of problems that they still need to work out. There's still a lot of things around this team they still need to build. They need to build a lot more depth. They need to build um they need to add more weapons, more speed, They're not that far off, but I still believe that year 3, this is where year 3 you should be able to turn the curve. You should be really competitive, in your games, not barely winning, struggling. Yeah, you're gonna have some games that you're gonna have to do, but you got to show dominance. Florida State started showing dominance last year. What Mike Norvell, second year, third year,
Second
fourth?
or third year.
See,
I think
Mike
it's his third year, to be honest. It's the third year, yeah.
So this Mike Norvell's third year. He started turning the corner last year. You started seeing Florida State start to be a little bit more dominant. You know what I'm saying? But then this year, they took a giant leap. I mean, they could be in the college playoffs. You know what I'm saying? It's going to come down to between them and Washington to get that 4th spot. Depends. Washington can move up. Depends on what Ohio State, Michigan does. You know what I'm saying? So Florida State is in a great position, like you alluded to earlier. They're in a great position. Now, to be honest with you, I think they could be just about anybody that's up there right now. I do believe that Florida State could end up representing, they could be the team that brings a title to the conference. And guess what's going to happen? They're going to get all the recruits. They're going to be a juggernaut, a powerhouse. They're going to be a powerhouse. You know what I'm saying? And then Miami going to still be their second fiddle trying to figure it out. Unless they start recruiting, they get a chance to prove themselves next year. Because Mario has to take the third year leap. He got to be way up there. It's got to be you think about it. We beat North Carolina State last week. We would have had another night game with Florida State. That would have been a must-see TV because game day and everybody would have been there. So Miami blew 2 game days. No, they didn't. They had 5 night games. They would have had 6, but it's like they blew chances. So Mario, it's up to Mario to fix it. If he's going, I hope he brings back Shannon Dawson. I hope, like I say, I hope what I'm looking at next year, Emory Williams will be the starter. You know what I'm saying? I think he will be the starter going into next year. He'll have another year under that offense. They can add more, build that offensive line a little bit deeper. I don't have no issues with the running game. I do think our receivers need to be more dynamic. I think we need some tight ends. I really do believe it. I'm telling you, we need to go out and get tight ends like Georgia does. The tight ends in Georgia it works for them. You know what I'm saying? Brock Bowles went down and McConkey stepped up like crazy. So I just think that Miami really need to get back to tight end. Get them dominant tight ends like we used to have year in, year out. That makes a whole lot of difference. It makes it easier for the receivers. You know what I'm saying? It makes it easy for the running game. It makes it easy for the quarterback. So I think that's one aspect that Mario needs to go out and get some tight. He need to get some tight ends. But less that, bro, I don't have too much more about this game. I do believe, it's going to be ugly this weekend. Only a miracle could save this team, and this team gets good quickly. That's the only way I see it. But winning this game, nah, I don't see it at all, bro. I don't see it at all. We'll be here Tuesday night again next week, talking about what went wrong.
And it's funny. It's just the truth of the matter. Right now, it's a sinking ship. Been taking water since week 5, and look at what week we are in now. And the thing is like it's not gonna get better. It's gonna get worse. And the thing is like my 7-5 is in jeopardy because I feel like, to be honest with you, if I gotta forecast it, we'll end up 6-7 and lose the bowl game too that we all qualified for. So with that, I'm out, and I'll let you finish it because we're almost at the end of time.
Yeah, well, you heard it here from both of us tonight. Miami has some deeper problems. I think it's more going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, and we probably won't know until the end of the season. But Miami blew a game against North Carolina. It don't get any easier going into Tallahassee, where it's going to be a lot of guys, a lot of talent there watching the game, and it's going to be hard for the Hurricanes to overcome a hostile environment. Now, like I said earlier, if Miami had played well throughout the season, then it would have been a little bit different take right now. So, this is your guy, Livewire Sports Media. My good friend, my brother, my fam, Donnie. This is our next Tuesday episode of Canes on the Daily. Like I said, Tuesday night. Tuesday night at 8:00. Join us as we break down everything Miami football, and also college basketball. The Hurricanes basketball, men's basketball is back. So now we are getting ready to rock and roll, but I won't dive into no basketball in NCAA or NBA until after football season. So I gotta wait till after the football season to get into basketball because there's too many games to cover, and man, I don't have enough time in the day to do it. So until next year, I mean not next year, but next week. I'm already talking about next year. Until next week, guys, go you. Hopefully we don't get beat too bad. But and that game was on at 3:30 too. So hopefully, that we won't have to worry about watching no night game and everything like that. You should have had it at 12:00. I think that would have been a little bit better.
That part.
Yeah. All right. Well, until then, this is Martin. This is Donnie, and we'll see you next week. Go Kings.